But first at 4, a story that we've been following all week long. Aurora Police shared new information on the charges for nearly a dozen gang members in a home invasion and kidnapping. That's where we find 9 News Investigates Kevin Vaughn. Kevin, we now know that some of those are now facing charges.
Mark and Alex, we know the department intends to file charges against 11 people. 8 of them are currently being held by Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, and the other 3 are at large. The trouble started Monday night at the Edge at Lowry Apartments. That's at 12th and Dallas. Police say around a dozen people grabbed a couple, tied them up, and tortured them. Chamberlain said it's believed the suspects are members of the TDA gang. Andy said it was just part of the trouble they've been causing.
But they were basically extorting them every 2 weeks for $500 a month, where they would go there, knock on the door, say, hey, we want $500. They'd pay it, besides on top of paying their rent, which they were paying to an app.
In addition, there are 8 other people being held by ICE who are under investigation. We don't know when there might be a resolution to their cases. The chief said this whole incident began when one of the victims used her cell phone to shoot video of a fight at the complex. One of the suspects in custody was seen on a viral video from the same apartment complex. It showed armed suspects inside that complex, and it was taken about 10 minutes before a deadly shooting at those same apartments. The video led to national headlines and claims from President-elect Donald Trump that gangs had taken over Aurora. Police say 4 of the 6 people in that viral video are now in custody. Live in Aurora, Kevin Vaughn, 9 News.
Kevin Vaughn with the update. Thank you. We also heard from Aurora Mayor Mike Kaufman today for the first time since this incident this week. President-elect Donald Trump has said, of course, that his planned mass deportations will begin right here in Aurora. So as we move closer to the inauguration, I asked the mayor earlier today who he believes should be deported and who should not. Who do you believe should be deported, and do you believe that there's anybody who should not be deported?
I think sometimes there's a gap between his rhetoric during a campaign and reality. Whether he's going to start here or somewhere else, I think is questionable. But I think certainly those people who have, violated criminal laws, and particularly have been violent, have no place in the United States.
Kaufman said today that Aurora will cooperate with any planned deportations and will work with ICE and federal forces as much as legally possible. That's, of course, a major difference from other Colorado cities. Denver Mayor Mike Johnston told me last month he's willing to go to jail to stop unlawful deportations.
Right now, we're about 8 hours away from a government shutdown if a bill is not passed. The House is voting on a continuing resolution that would fund the government through mid-March. We'll continue to watch as that happens. Now, if a deal isn't passed before midnight, millions of federal workers will go on furlough, while essential workers have to stay on the job without pay. House Speaker Mike Johnson says that's not going to happen.
But I expect that we will be proceeding forward. We will not have a government shutdown, and we will meet our obligations for our farmers who need aid, for the disaster victims all over the country, and for making sure that military and essential services and everyone who relies upon the federal government for a paycheck is paid over the holidays.
Well, at 4:04, they got it done because we just got word a bill has been passed and there will not be a government shutdown after all.
We'll get more information from Washington on that in just a couple of minutes. That breaking news coming in just now.
Yes, and so looking at it, it could have affected TSA workers, which is really big coming into the holidays. So we were looking at the impact today of what DIA would look like.
Yeah, and that would have been a bad time to do that, as today is projected to be the busiest travel day ahead of Christmas. Now News reporter Jeremy Hahol is at DIA. Jeremy, how's it looking?
Well, it's getting really busy, I'll tell you that. If this shutdown would have happened, the TSA agents behind me here would have had to work for free without pay amid that shutdown. You could imagine what would have done to morale there. But let's talk about holiday travel this year here at DIA. Holiday travel is expected to be a record-breaking travel year when it comes to the holidays here at DIA this year. Airport officials tell us that they are going to expect an 8% increase in the number of people passing through the airport between now and the Friday after Christmas. They tell us they expect a number of 811,000 people to travel through the hall here to get to wherever they're going for Christmas between now and the Friday after Christmas. They also add that they believe the Friday after Christmas will be the busiest holiday when it comes to traveling aircraft flying through the holiday season. So as you're making your way through the airport this holiday season, be mindful, be nice to your ticket agents, and also you have to watch out for the trains issues. We've been reporting on these issues with the trains here at DIA. About 10 minutes ago, they actually halted security because there was an announcement overhead that said all trains to all gates were delayed. That has stopped and they have resumed security now, but you can tell that really backed up the lines here at TSA. So, Merry Christmas.
Well, I like your festive sweater. You have a cute sweater on.
The last thing we need is train problems, seriously. There you go, you got the sweater, the reindeers. Yeah. Jeremy Hohola, appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you. Developing world news this afternoon, a vehicle drove through a crowd of people at a popular Christmas market in Germany. Police have confirmed at least 2 people have died and more than 60 others were hurt. The market is in a city west of Berlin. Officials say the suspect acted alone and was detained. The victims include at least 1 adult and 1 child. This is a developing situation, a developing story, and as we learn more, we'll share it with you.
Let's get you a live look outside. We got into the 60s yet again today. The weekend is looking nice, though. I swear, C-Rep, you would not know that tomorrow is the first day of winter.
It just seems phenomenal. You just try to put your mind in a mindset believing that tomorrow is winter, but it just doesn't feel right. We hit 68 today at Denver International Airport. We're down to 58 right now, but briefly that 68 was just 1 degree away from tying an all-time record. And we're still in the 60s in some areas around here, including the 9 News studios here in South Downtown Mile High City. Here's your current temperatures across the area. Very mild across the eastern half of the state, even pretty mild for a lot of the mountain locations. That 15 in Gunnison is actually mild compared to what they've had over the last couple of weeks. So here's your Saturday forecast. We're going with sunshine all the way across the day here until the evening. I think we'll hit 60 once again, probably breaking over 60. The record for tomorrow for the winter solstice is 67 degrees. Here's your headlines that we're tracking. That warmth will continue all the way Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Light mountain snow coming on Monday. Looks like a very weak system. And the Christmas storm, all the modeling, all the data from today shows that that storm may be even weaker than the weak storm that we were expecting. I'll describe that coming up in the forecast.
A not-so-white Christmas. Corey, thank you. Denver police say a 3rd person is facing charges for attempted murder in the shooting that hurt a former Broncos wide receiver. Police arrested Daniel Olivares. The shooting happened on October 18th on I-25. Before that, former Bronco Josh Reynolds was at a strip club in Glendale. Police say he and a few other friends left and a group followed them. Police say someone in one of those vehicles opened fire, hurting Reynolds. Police arrested 2 others for attempted murder. Well, no charges will be filed in connection to the publication of voting machine passwords on the state's website. We're told a 7-week-long investigation found there were no violations by Jenna Griswold's office because the passwords were published in error and not knowingly. Last month, the office acknowledged that one employee inadvertently posted those passwords before the election, and they were online for months until the breach was discovered in late October. That employee is no longer working in the department.
A group of parents are now suing Denver Public Schools to stop the closure of schools recently approved by the board. According to this lawsuit, Mama's DPS says the declining enrollment data is not accurate and their children will be harmed if the district moves forward. Last month, the board voted to close 7 schools and downsize 3 others. The lawsuit also alleges that superintendent and the district wrongfully redirected funds to private charter schools. DPS says it will not be commenting on pending litigation.